Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7. Live on hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Yo, it's Tavon Greatness Patterson. Want to listen to Hot 702.5 on the go? Download the Hot 702.5 app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store if you got an Android like me.
Let's get it.
Hi.
Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out.
Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Caron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
This is Herflow from Hot 702.5 FM. Las Vegas, looking for a winner-takes-all way to burn off that extra energy? Welcome to Bouncy World, the ultimate climate-controlled indoor playground. We're stacking the deck with specials all week long. Cool off with Frosty Tuesdays featuring ice-cold treats for the kids, then join us for free popcorn Thursdays, because nothing beats a salty snack after a giant bounce. And at Bouncy World, we believe every child deserves their moment to soar. Join us every Sunday from 9 to 11 a.m. for Sensory Sundays. We dim the lights and turn off the music to create a calm, inclusive space designed specifically for our newer, diverse community. At Bouncy World, we fly high. From high-flying fun to inclusive play, we've got it all. Visit us at bouncyworldlv.com to book your party or check our open play hours. Bouncy World, jump into the fun today.
In the mix with DJ Mr. West.
Hey!
Hot 702.5. Hot 702.5. Hot 702.5.
Hot 702.5. Are we on? Okay. Welcome to More Life with Mr. West. I am your host, Mr. West. And this show, I'm a licensed insurance broker, pre-need specialist right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And this show is all about education, real conversations, and helping you get more out of life by planning ahead so that you can live in the present and, be present and live in the moment. If you ever want to reach out, you can reach me on west.morelife. That's west.morelife on Instagram. And you can follow me on Facebook too, Wes Wiley on Facebook. Today we're talking about something that people don't really realize until they're in the moment. And that is emotional versus financial decisions. But before we get into that, we like to start the show off with what we did to get more out of life. So if for those of you listening in, please put in the chat, let me know what you did to get more out of life this week? What did you do to relax? What did you do to just live a little bit more and be present with your family and your loved ones, or just with yourself? Put it in the chat. Let me know. I'll tell you what I did to get more out of life this week. And a lot of my getting more out of life, it does right now come from just making sure my son is secure, just making sure he's happy and he has what he needs, because if he's good, then I'm good. So my son has been saving up his money. He got a little piggy bank. He's been saving up his little dollars and his little change, and he's putting it in his jar. And I, taught him how to basically balance his books. He's got a little sheet that he puts in there. So we started off, we already had the piggy bank going. So we decided, we need to keep track of this, because now you say you want stuff and you want to spend your money. I'm like, okay, you're going to spend your money. All right. So I put him a little tally sheet together, showed him how to track things. So when he gets more money, he just adds to the list, just adds to his little list and drops it in his jar. So we were at the store and he saw some skates, some roller skates. He's like, I want these skates. First he wanted a bike, and then he wanted a go-kart, and then he was like, I'll take these skates. I want these skates. So we saw the skates, and I made him wait for a little bit. He looked at the price. He's like, they're $44, $45. And he's like, I think I got that. I'm like, you do have it. He said, but I said, you probably need to save a little bit more because there's tax. He's like, tax? But he kind of knows what tax is. They teach him about it. He's like, oh, yeah. So I said, you got to save a little bit more so you can cover the tax. He's like, so he saved a little bit more, and we went in after his award ceremonies at school, and we went and got the skates. He had his money in his pocket. I said, put your money in your pocket, man. Don't keep reaching in your pocket because it'll fall out if you keep reaching in and pulling it out. So he goes in. Anyways, he goes in. He picks the skates out. We go check out at the register, and I'm like, all right, this is the amount. You got to start counting out your money. So he got his money in his hand. I'm letting him do everything. He's counting it out. He's taking the money. He's dropping it on the ground. Not the ground, but just dropping it on the counter. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to still let you do it. So anyways, while he's doing that, I'm picking up the money. I'm straightening out for the cashier. And so I told him I'll pay half of it. I'll pay half of your skates. So he paid some of his money, and then I paid the rest. So we got home. He's playing with the skates. The skates don't fit. Skates don't fit. So we took them back. I got him the bigger ones, and so I got to take the other ones back. But anyways, he's happy about that, and he's happy about getting out of school this week, man. School's almost done this week. For everybody actually. So I hope everybody's excited about that. I know my son is. He wants to hang out with his friends over the summer. I think we're going to be hanging out at some of the trampoline parks this summer and doing some swim lessons and some MMA, some non-striking MMA stuff. So he'll be busy this summer. I also got a good massage this weekend. It was fantastic. It felt so good. It felt so amazing. It was a good job, and I appreciate being able to do that type of stuff. That's helps me relax. It helps me feel good. Helps me decompress and just be fresh for the week coming up or whatever I got coming up. So I really appreciate being able to do stuff like that. Anyways, let's get into what we're talking about today. We're talking about, this series has been about pre-need arrangements. This is the 6th episode. And then we're going to end pre-need today. And then next week, we're going to jump into something totally different. But we've talked about what pre-need is and why it matters. Pre-need is it's arrangements in advance that you make for your cremation or your burial. It's for everybody, not just seniors, not just people who are sick. It's for everybody who, if you're healthy, if you're young, you can benefit from having a pre-need. We talked about the difference with pre-need planning and funeral insurance. We talked about the different ways that you could pay for it. There's payment options that you can use. There's insurance that you can use. We talked about some things that you need to know before either picking a burial or a cremation. Things like finding your plot, or if it's a cremation, maybe it's like picking an urn. We talked about some of the fees that are associated with those things, and some of the new things that some of the cemeteries, all the cemeteries, are having you do before you before you get your burial done. So go back and look at those. Shows, and you can see what that's all about in more detail. We talked about what actually happens when someone passes away. Like, who do you call? Do you call the ambulance? Do you call the hospice? Do you call a doctor? Do you call a hospital? Like, what happens after that? The main thing is, we're going to come pick up your loved one. We're bringing them into our care, and then we'll start coordinating all the processes. We talked about the real cost of funerals and services. Some of the things, all the fees. There's a bunch of little, fees that may be associated depending on what type of service you're picking. If it's a burial or if it's a cremation, it's not just one thing. It's layered, and that's really why pre-need arrangement is important. So you can kind of see what those fees are in advance, so that you're not shocked when they come up. And then today, we're talking about emotional versus financial decisions. And one thing that I've learned is that grief affects the way we make decisions. And that's not for everybody. Everybody doesn't operate that way. I'm just going based off of what I see. When I see my families come in here, I can see the grief. I could see the stress. We had a lady come in, and she had just lost her husband, and she was going back and forth. Did she want to take him back? I believe to Detroit or something like that, to have the service there, where the majority of his family is, or did they want to have it here? So they were kind of going back and forth, or she was, and she's emotional. She's crying. She just lost her husband of many years. So it's natural to feel like that. So, there's nothing wrong with it. But she could have benefited if she had planned in advance. Then she wouldn't have had to make those types of decisions while she's trying to grieve and while she's, going through such a tough time in her life. So I do feel for her, because she did go back and forth, and, she didn't really have to go through that. So, shock, you go through shock, and that affects your judgment. And, I'm not saying this to say that we can stop the shock or anything like that. Even if you plan in advance, it's still shocking to have that. The whole point is just not having to make these sorts of decisions while you're going through shock. The families, they aren't thinking clearly. Some of the information, so families aren't thinking clearly. I had a family come in, and something that you do every day, that you bring with you every day, because they're not thinking clearly, they forgot to bring it, and that's their ID. Something so small, and now you have to go back and forth, back to your or back home, and pick up certain documents, any types of documents. There may be their loved one's ID, their own ID, marriage certificates, your veterans paperwork. I forget what that form is called, but those things, you need to bring them with you. And if you know that in advance, then you can do that. You can have those documents with you ready to go, so that you can grieve how you want to grieve. And then there's when you're making emotional decisions, there's the this thing that kind of pops in your head to do right by your loved one. And of course, we want to do right by them, but what does that really mean if you never sat down with them and had a plan? So now you're guessing what that person would have wanted. And then, some people are, going and doing this great extravagant service that maybe your loved one didn't want, or maybe some people are they're not doing what their loved one would have wanted, and maybe they did want a big service. But I don't want you to get caught in your emotions, and then now you're doing all this stuff that you may not have needed to do just because you didn't plan in advance. Because a lot of the emotional decisions, some of them become expensive, and this is not about that. This is about doing right by the families, by my families and my friends that coming in to see me and set these plans up. I just want to make sure that you have a peace of mind. I love what I'm doing. I make a good living what I'm doing, and I get to help people for real. People in their toughest times. I'm there for them. I'm not a counselor or anything like that, but I'm there for them. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to hear what you have to say. I'm not going to rush you to do anything. So just keep those things in mind. People, you're not just making decisions with your mind when a loved one passes. You are also making decisions with your emotions. So, and that doesn't go away. Just because you pre-planned doesn't mean that the emotions go away when someone passes away. The emotions are still there. Just the stress of having the plan in the moments of your emotional grief are eliminated because you did plan. All right. This next part, we're talking about financial pressure under grief. So there is a financial side to this, and some of the common situations are some of the ways that families kind of take care of this is some families pull together. They and that's great if you can. It's great if your family can get together and everybody pulls their money together. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. If your family can do that, that's wonderful. And if they can do that, they can do it in advance too. And you can have all these plans sort of set. But it's great if your family can do that. But do you really want to do that at, the time of someone's death? I'm going to say no. No one wants to do that. It'd be better if you had it planned out in advance. Some people are using their credit cards. And is there something wrong with that? Depends on how you use it. Are you someone that pays it off every month? Okay, fine. That's good. Are you somebody that pays it monthly? Then maybe there's a better option for you. Actually, there is a better option, because what I do is I can offer you payment plans, payment arrangements that are often less than the percentages that are on credit cards. And we don't do credit checks or anything like that. This is a prepaid service, so we don't do anything like that. So that may be a better option to just make the payment plan than to use your credit card and put yourself in more debt. Some of the other things I've seen are GoFundMe campaigns. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with this. I'm not knocking anybody that has to do that, because we're always not always, but it happens where, these things happen all of a sudden. So everybody's not going to get a pre-need arrangement. I wish you would, because I think it's important. But the reality is some people aren't. And then they have to go through these other options of, asking family for money or using their credit cards or doing a GoFundMe campaign. So I'm trying to give you an option that where you don't have to do that. You can do everything in advance. You can get the payment options. And a lot of times, like I said, it's a cheaper option than like credit cards or something like that. You avoid one family member carrying the burden of doing everything. And I keep saying this. It's not a terrible thing. Some people have it. That's some families are great. They're great at that, and they have that one person that they can count on, that everybody leans on, they listen to, and they do what they tell them to do. And they've developed a routine that works. That's fine. I would say whoever that person that is, running the family, I would say come see me. Let's set up some of these things in advance. Since your family is kind of following your direction, it would be smart to set it up in advance so they're not pushing everything on you, or you don't have to, stop your life to, take care of someone's funeral arrangements. And we don't want to put the burden on anybody. So let's do it. Let's take care of it in advance. And then there's just like we said before, there's like the need to do right by the loved one that often ends up in maybe some overspending out of guilt or even pressure, because the family members are saying, no, we need these types, get these flowers, or get the gold casket, get the chariot. That may not be necessary. Unless that person said that's what they wanted, maybe that's not necessary. You don't need to do that. But when you're in the moment, the pressure's on, you might just buckle and say, you know what, I'm going to do it. Forget it. I'll get that done. And then we can kind of tie this into some of the previous shows where we were talking about the burial versus cremation costs, and how some of those fees are different, and they add up, and so that could lead into a big overspending, because maybe that person actually wanted a cremation, which is it's less than what a burial is. Maybe they wanted that cremation, but you went and got the burial out of pressure from family members and, just wanting to do right by your loved one. And you also need to keep in mind that I just want to remind you that the cemetery they handle their expenses separately from the funeral home. So you do have to go talk to a cemetery and purchase your plot outside of the funeral home. We can help you find a cemetery, but we can help you set up an appointment and everything too. But you need to sit down with those people, and you need to purchase your plot. That's separate from the funeral service. The one thing I saw the guy out in Texas, he said that he bought a plot, and he's now decided to get a cremation instead. And he said he's gonna sell his plot. He said, the plot that he has it's in a good location, and there's no more left. Where he's at. So he's like, yeah, I can give top dollar for this. But anyways, I'm not telling you to go do that. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. Maybe you can look at it as a plot as an investment. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. So this whole thing, we want to limit the decisions that you have to make under pressure, and even service decisions. Some people don't want a service, or they want a certain type of service. You know, you don't want to just get into we want everything. Obviously, unless the money's not an option, then do whatever you want. I wanted to go over one more section before we go into a break. And this is why planning changes everything. It makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference when you plan in advance. The main thing is that the decisions are already made. Okay, you've already sat down with me. We went through everything. We got you an urn or a casket. You already went and got your plot. We talked about services. We talked about the type of service you want to have, a traditional Christian service, or do you want to have a Buddhist service, or do you want to have a Muslim service? We've already talked about that. You're getting what you want, and we're getting it down, and that way there's no arguments. No one can argue amongst themselves about what you wanted for yourself and for them, because we got to remember this is a gift for them. There's less confusion because of that. Like I said, there's less arguing, and it is a reduced financial pressure because often you've either paid in advance or you have an arrangement set up to finish the payment to pay it off. And then since all that's happening, you've made the decisions, you got the financial the financial plan set up. And like I said, this is a gift, and now you're allowing your family to grieve properly. You're allowing your family to just really focus on you and not stress about bills and types of services. I have a case that I was dealing with right now, and the daughter's calling in. She's like, I don't want my mom to have to look at urns because I know she's going to get emotional. I don't want her crying or anything like that. She's going to cry, but she's just saying, she doesn't want her mom to have to deal with any of this stuff. So, but her father is, he's what we call imminent, which means he can go at any moment. So, I try to do my best to work with those cases and try to get them handled right away. But you gotta come to me before you get to that point, because then it's very tough to get things rolling. But I will do my best to work with you. But come with me before you get there, okay? And I'll just leave you with this before we hit the break. And I already said it. One of the greatest gifts that you can leave your family is clarity. That way they can do what they need to do and grieve and go on with their lives. So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back. All right, peace.
Baby, take my hand, I can show you how to dance. This a different groove, baby, this a different dance. I'm not looking for love, I'm just trying to take a chance. Not in a romance, baby, that's not in my plans. You've been trying to party all night, end up in the limelight. When the time right, baby, Hey, baby, She just wanna forget about the problems. She just wanna drink it, turn tomorrow. She don't wanna worry about the sorrow in her life. Baby, what you living like? She just wants some money for some tattoos and some marijuana. Oh, and I don't wanna fight, don't wanna argue, baby. I don't want the problems. No. And every time we get into a situation, gotta always solve them. And baby, I don't pay my dues, so tell me what this love is costing.
Addicted to this life. Sure, 9 to 5 is right. Even though she worked that job, she still play with that blade night, pull out that bag, she go all night. She catching flights to get it right. I see through that smile you hurt. You know that line gon' get you tight. Are you in love with them gangsters? Are you in love with the movement? Don't fall in love with every dude that turn around and call you beautiful. After 2 weeks you didn't slip. After 2 weeks you didn't dip. You can blame it on the drugs, but you been riding.
She just wanna forget about the problems. She just wanna drink it, turn tomorrow. She don't wanna worry about the sorrow in her life. Baby, what you living like? She just wants some money for some tattoos and some marijuana. Oh, and I don't wanna fight, don't wanna argue, baby. I don't want the problems. No, 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 no. And every time we get into a situation, gotta always solve them. And baby, I don't pay my dues, so tell me what this love is costing. Late night, late night, late night, oh, yeah. Late night, late night, late night, oh, yeah. Hey, Brooklyn said you hype, you need to pipe down. And baby, I'm a dog, I'ma bite down. So what you gonna do when they turn the lights out? Baby, hold up. She just wants some money for some tattoos and some marijuana. Oh, and I don't wanna fight, don't wanna argue, baby. I don't want the problems. No, 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 no. And every time we get into a situation, gotta always solve them. And baby, I don't pay my dues, so tell me what this love is costing.
Hi. Hey. What's up? What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars. On Hot 7025fm.com.
Wine slow, wine fast, wine slow, wine fast, wine slow. I said it on. This is the remix.
I'm stuck on the road, baby. Haven't been in my right mind. I'm thinking about you, baby. I need a new lifeline. I ain't going nowhere. Promise I won't disappear. We can spend many nights rolling through city lights. Girl, you know you're my equal. Let's continue this sequel. I knew right away that you would be the type. On my toes, you keep me up. Girl, let's go, I'm keeping up. Gotta silence her tonight. Coming. I know you're sitting home lonely. All those nights you've been lonely. Girl, I've been running, haven't been keeping up. I can tell that you want it. Girl, I'm on my way, be there around noon, let's go all day. It's 1 in the morning, still can't get enough. It's too hard to control it. I know you're sitting home lonely. All those nights you've been lonely. Girl, I've been running, haven't been keeping up. I can tell that you want it. Girl, I'm on my way, be there around noon, let's go all day. It's 1 in the morning, still can't get enough. It's too hard to control it.
Lonely, my little lover from my home, man. I miss the way you put it on, man. You used to ride me like a pony, but I had to run the streets. I do it for the cheese macaroni. You know it's hard to control, man. So don't say you won't play. Don't wanna suit you for weird on your birthday. All amigos on the side if you're thirsty. I wanna feel you inside in the worst way. Yeah, dripping so wet, need no foreplay. Wind up on me like it's Juve. Oh, you know they hate us when we going up. You know you love the way you're slowing down. Lucky nobody when I'm not around. Me left Jamaica, now I'm back in town, and I know
you're sitting home lonely. All those nights you've been lonely. Girl, I've been running, haven't been keeping up. I can tell that you want it. Girl, I'm on my way, be there around noon, let's go all day. It's 1 in the morning, still can't get enough. It's too hard to control it. I know you're sitting home lonely. All those nights you've been lonely. Girl, I've been running, haven't been keeping up. I can tell that you want it. Girl, I'm on my way, be there around noon, let's go all day. It's 1 in the morning, still can't get enough. It's too hard to control it.
in the mix with DJ Mr. West. Hey! Hot 702.5. Hot 702.5. Hot 702.5.
Welcome back. You're listening to More Life with Mr. West. I am Mr. West, your licensed broker and pre-need professional right here in Vegas. Reach out to me on Instagram, west.morelife. You can also reach me on Facebook at Wes Wiley. It's W-E-S, no T, Wiley, W-I-L-E-Y. Ask me some questions if you need to know anything more about pre-need planning, which is pre-arrangements for cremations or burials. Let me know. You know, it's for everybody. It's not just for people who are sick or are seniors. It's for everybody. So reach out to me if you have any questions. I do want to give a shout out to ReviveLounge.com. Revive Lounge. Go to ReviveLounge.com and make a reservation. Come by, check out the tea spot, and come get you some teas and some light eats and some mocktails. Enjoy some good music and come enjoy a relaxing atmosphere. Like, it's really chill. The vibe is very cozy in here. This is like a place you come have your book club meeting at, or if you got a special event or something like that. This is a great place to come have it. It's chill. It's a vibe. So come check it out, man. Revive Lounge, ReviveLounge.com. Okay, come check it out. Also want to give a shout out to Inspired Life. That's the funeral home that I work very closely with. They do a great job with our families. They care. They're not going to treat you like a number. I describe it as they're not going to treat your loved one just like another number. They're going to treat them like their family. I describe the venue, the chapel, the funeral home. I describe it as like a boutique. It's like a boutique funeral home. It's very modern. It looks like a art gallery when you walk in there. It's a very, very nice place. You don't even know that it's a funeral home. So check out Inspired Life, inspiredlife.com. Go to the website and check it out. Next, now we're getting into some different scenarios that some families go through. Smooth Dude's on. What up, Smooth Dude? We got to play Smooth Dude's song, man. So there's a couple of different scenarios. I got scenario A. Scenario A is no plan, and I got scenario B, that's a family that has a plan. Okay. So scenario A is the family with no plan, and what happens is, what often happens is, doesn't happen with everybody, there's different opinions throughout the family. Like some family want certain things, some family want something else. Sometimes people like the lady I was talking about earlier today. She thought about taking her husband to Detroit, and then she said, you know what, I just leave him here. She was kind of going back and forth, and so there was no plan. So she's kind of scatterbrained. It was all over the place. There's financial stress when there's no plan. How are we gonna pay for this? Do we have the money for this? Do we have to fundraise? Do we got to set up a GoFundMe account? Do we have to go wash cars? Or do we have to just pool all of our money together and ask the family just to come together and help get this service together? How are we going to pay for this? So they're going through a financial stress. And then there's pressure to spend more. When you're clear-headed and you're making your payments or making your arrangements in advance, there's no pressure on you to get certain things or add all these things. But when you're emotional and someone's passed away, I see where people are, they want to do all these extra things. They'll start off and say, yeah, I want this urn. I want the little miniature size urns too, so that I can give out to the family. I want to get the jewelry too. And I'm saying, okay, if that's what you want, that's great. But then they're coming back later and say, you know what, I'm just going to get the earn. So, we don't, and that's fine too. But, I don't want people feeling like there's pressure to go all big for this when you really don't have to. And if you're planning in advance, you can kind of take your time on those types of decisions. Maybe you do want that. Okay, you know what? I do want that. I'm going to add that to the plan. I'm just going to, add it to the payment plan that was set up. And then there's, scenario A or family A. There's family tension. There's sometimes there's arguments, and there's back and forth about different types of services or cremations or burials. So you want to avoid that kind of stuff. Then there's family B. Family B, remember, is the one who has the plan set up. So family B, they got clear direction. The entire family knows, Uncle Bob sat down with, his wife and his kids, and he told them, this is what we're doing. This is the gift that I'm leaving you. And the gift is the plan so that you don't have to worry about it. So he sat them down and they know exactly what's going to happen. And, they don't have to worry about it. There's less confusion, obviously, because they got clear direction. There's reduced pressure, and there's more time to focus on your family. Like the young lady I was talking about earlier today, she wants to take the pressure off of her mother, which is great, but she's not understanding that she also has to grieve too. And, she's taking on all the pressure, and, she's grieving also. And if she would have done this in advance, she would have also had her chance to grieve as well. So, planning ahead changes the experience for the people that you leave behind. Like I said, it's a gift that you're leaving them so that they don't have to worry about it. So this side, I want to talk about the emotional side of preparation. A lot of people, I got to stop saying that. Some people think that planning ahead is negative. Obviously, I have people that come in and they plan with me, and they don't think it's negative. But some people think it's negative. I've talked to some families that never even thought about pre-planning, and their immediate thing is like, oh no. First off, they're like, you work at a funeral home? They're looking at me like like I'm some type of ghoul or something like that. But they're they think of it as a negative. Like they think that if they plan in advance that they're going to die faster or something like that. And that's just not true. Planning is an act of care. It shows that you care for your family so that they don't have to worry about this. It removes uncertainty. It helps your families emotionally, and it allows people to focus on living. I dealt with a guy. I talked with a guy yesterday, older guy, military vet. We took care of his wife's arrangements, and so he called. He said, "You know what? You guys did my wife's arrangements. You guys did a really good job, and that made me realize I need to get my arrangements set up too." I said, okay, no problem. Come talk to me. And he was, one of the things he says, I'm fishing right now. So I'll see you on Tuesday. I said, okay, you fishing? What kind of fish are you getting? We had a little conversation about fishing. And, so he finally came in to see me and we talked. I asked him how his fishing trip was, and he said it was great. He said that, he's got his fishing buddy that he goes with. He said he thinks they're going to get a Corvette. They're going to start driving a Corvette around. They want to get a 2-seater. And he's like, I thought about that, and I said, you know what? I need to get my plans together before I get that, because if I go out, we're probably going out together. So this man is this, and I'm not saying that people need to go crash their vehicles or anything like that. The man is just saying, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to get more out of life by planning ahead. So he called me and he set up his arrangements. He's going to be buried at the vet cemetery, and he paid for it already, and he's set to go. Now he can continue to go on his fishing trips. He can go buy that Corvette. He ain't got to worry about, what if I fall off the boat? Oh, well, who's going to take care of my bills, my body, and my service for me? He took care of it himself. So it's planning ahead is not about focusing on death. It's about making things easier for the people that you love. So let's get into some reflection, and then I want to do just a quick recap on not a recap, but I want to let you know what we're going to be talking about in the next series. But ask yourself, if something happened to you tomorrow, what would your family know to do? What would your family know what to do? Ask yourself that. If something happened to you tomorrow, would your family know what to do? Would they be emotionally prepared? Would they be financially prepared? Or would they be trying to figure everything out under pressure? Ask yourself those questions. And, if the answer is no, your family doesn't know what to do, then you do need to sit down and have that conversation with your family. Let them know what you want. Then you need to reach out to me, and we need to set an appointment so that we can get your arrangements set up. So that's pretty much it for the series on pre-need arrangements. Just it's something that everybody needs. Get it, pay for it. If you can go to the club and you can buy bottles and you can get Gucci bags and all this kind of stuff, great. You can also pay for your pre-need arrangement. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't go to the club that weekend. You come set an appointment with me and you pay that. You pay, you make your arrangement in advance. And now you're good. And then you go back to the club next weekend. So don't waste time. It's for everybody. You don't know when you're going to go. Tomorrow could easily become today. And now your family's stuck making decisions. And they're like, they're kind of just, they're out of it. So that's it for pre-need. Like I said, reach out to me. If you have any more questions, I'll be more than happy to help you. I'll be more than happy to walk you through the process. So just let me know. Next week, we're going to be talking about life insurance. We're going to dig into life insurance. We're going to dig into life insurance a lot, actually. There'll be at least maybe 2 series on life insurance. I want to make sure I'm covering it fully. I want to make sure you guys understand certain terms. I want to make sure you understand, real quick, I want to make sure you understand what life insurance actually is, why people get life insurance. I want to talk to you about term life insurance and explain that. I want to talk to you about permanent life insurance. And then we're going to talk about different types of permanent life insurance, like whole life insurance, universal life insurance, IULs. We're going to talk about variable life insurance policies. We're going to talk about how much coverage do you really need? Do you need $1 million? Do you need $2 million? Or do you need $100,000? What do you actually need? How do you calculate that? And then we're going to talk about some mistakes, some common mistakes that people make. Not everybody, but just, these are just some mistakes that people make. And I'm telling you because I want you to avoid those mistakes. So that's it for today's conversation on More Life with Mr. West. I'm your host, Mr. West, licensed insurance broker and pre-need specialist. If this helps you in any way, if you have any more questions, if I can help guide you or your family through the process of pre-need, please reach out to me. Contact me on. You can contact me on Facebook, Wes Wiley, WES no T Wiley, WILEY. You can also reach out to me on Instagram at wes.morelife. That's wes.morelife. Call the funeral home too. Make an appointment with Patty. She'll set you up. She'll set you up with me, and then I'll come walk you through the process. So that pretty much wraps up everything on pre-need. Like I said, next series we're diving into life insurance. I'm going to give the game away. I'm going to give the game away to everybody. There's no secrets. I'm going to tell you everything that is going on within the industry. These people, they talk about building your bank and generational wealth and all these kind of things. I don't like to use those kind of words. They're trigger words to me. And when I hear it, I hear scammer when I hear those words. So I'm going to tell you the truth about everything. So reach out to me. I can help you. And that will be it for Wes. More Life with Wes. I'll see you guys next week. Okay, peace.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. High 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on high702.5fm.com.